My name is Gary Bonk. I'm an attorney in Cherville, Indiana. My law practice is called Law Offices of Gary Bonk, and it's myself and my son Garrett. And we do nothing but estate planning, estate settlement, and elder law work. 2/3 of Americans don't have any type of estate plan at all. That means they don't have a will, they don't have a trust, and their assets will pass according to state law. I find you can explain most estate planning with candy and with one or more cups. So when clients come into our office, usually what we do is we pull out some candy, we put it on the table, and the candy represents their assets, the things that they own. So it could be real estate, it could be cash or investments, it could be retirement plans. If you don't have a will, then some of these assets are going to pass directly to people because you might have named them as a beneficiary. That will be true for maybe the retirement plans or life insurance. How's everything else going to pass? Probably not the way you want if you don't have a will. So if you have minor children, it may go directly to the minor children. If you thought it might go to your spouse, it may be split between your spouse and your children. It will pass according to the state's rules. If you have a will, you have a little more control over how your assets will pass. So again, using the candy, we may have some assets that are retirement plans or insurance policies, assets that have beneficiaries on them. Those pass directly to those people. For the rest of the assets, we can specify in the will how they will pass. And the one thing about the will, however, is that if the assets exceed $100,000, so if that pile of candy exceeds $100,000, the court will be involved, and that process is called probate. For about half of the clients we meet, we find something called a revocable living trust is a better option for planning than a basic will. So again, we're going to go back to the same pile of candy. Again, we may have some assets with beneficiaries named, typically life insurance and retirement plans. Those go directly to those people. For all the other assets, we're going to use a cup to describe a trust because a trust is just a container that holds assets with instructions. So we're going to take those assets, we're going to put them in the cup. And that's basically what a trust is. And then the benefit of the trust is twofold. One, when you die, those assets are not going to be under the supervision of the court. We're not going to have the probate process involved. Instead, they will be managed by the trustee that you've named for that trust. Second, we can be flexible, more flexible in terms of how those assets are distributed. And we can maybe even have them distributed over a lifetime or over several time periods for your children. So those are the benefits of a trust. I made estate planning seem relatively simple by using candy and cups to describe it. However, this is not a project for the do-it-yourselfer. I would not build a house and put in all my own electrical because I'm not an electrician. I wouldn't do the same for plumbing. So if you are going to do estate planning, I strongly recommend you go to a professional, go to an attorney that does this type of work.